Hey, everybody, if you like Kyokushin, karate, martial arts, combat sports, any other sport like ice hockey, but mainly Kyokushin and combat sports, make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe button to the Drew Sperience podcast on YouTube and all other audio platforms. The show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. Thank you to a few supporters. First of all, they are the largest online growing dojo since 2020. KRT Tips and Tricks. I know I butchered that there. Sorry. With senseis Wesley Jansen and sensei Darren Stringer, where they're just bringing everybody together, no matter the association. KRT Tips and Tricks on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Also, Martial Way Blog with Senpai Scott Heaney and the show he does, Real Talk with Shian Terry Burkett. Another great Kyokushin show if you're looking for additional content. Make sure to give them a follow. They deserve it too. Kyokushin Shuffle podcast with Sensei Patrick Pinto, and make sure to try to get his book, Forever the Student ebook, as well as the Budo Way of Masoyama, second edition by Shian Cameron Quinn. And everyone's getting like a special shout out today. And lastly, my main support, who since I've gotten back to Kyokushin, if you're in Quebec and you're looking for a great dojo, look no further than IKO Nakamura, where Shian Pierre Cataford and Kyokushin Boucherville and the team under him, such as Karate Joanne Fournier with Sensei Joanne Fournier in Laval, amongst many others, will do everything they can to get you into martial arts. If you have a Kyokushin background, they'll help you get up to speed. They'll help you with what your goals, what you want to achieve. All I can say is IKO Nakamura in Quebec and elsewhere in Canada is the best, and I couldn't recommend them more. And there's a reason why I have gone to them as my return to Kyokushin is under IKO Nakamura, where quality comes first. And lastly, Moments Management. You're a pro fighter, you want to get in. Nima Safapur and his team will make sure you're taken care of. Moments Management, where quality and care come first. And with that, it's the Drew Sperience, the show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. It's been a while since I've had them on. The people wanted them on. They're among the most viewed episodes ever. They're super popular. I mentioned them at the beginning. And fuck, am I fired up today? It's like before the holidays. I'm going to give y'all a gift. I have with me the founders of KRT, Sensei Wesley Jansen and Sensei Darren Stringer. Welcome back, guys.
Hey, man. Yo.
Great to be back, man. Great to be back. I can't believe how long your intro gets. It's been. I remember when you started. That's it. I remember when you started. Hello, this is the Drew Sperience, and now you got like 20 minutes of lines. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. He's like the new Slim Shady. He's just spitting lyrics off at the start, and congrats, though, man. I mean, it's come a long way. It's good.
Oh, tell me about it. Like it feels great, and I couldn't have done it without the guests. I mean, look, it's nice that I do what I do, but it doesn't happen without the guests. And yeah, so I never expected it to get this big. Like I had zero expectations.
That's good.
Maybe that's the reason why it works.
Yeah, we were the same, to be fair, and we've said it many a times. We've been fortunate. We've had a lot of people joining in our sessions and a really high quality of instructors as well. But it's all nothing without the people that kind of join in, help you out, do all them things. So yeah, I mean, kudos to you to make that work. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's like 79 episodes in already. Like it's now it's kind of calmed down. Cause let's be honest, we're kind of back to normal with whatever normal is. And
yeah,
I'm not commenting further on that one. I'm just leaving it at that.
Not in Holland though.
Yeah.
Since the day 2-3 hours ago, we are back into lockdown. Yes.
No.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we are back into lockdown until the 14th of January.
Okay.
So we were kind of back to normal. Maybe this is the new normal, to be fair. A lot of screen time then.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, I hear that the UK might be following the same suit. I think a couple of countries already in Europe are on that same wavelength at the moment. So,
yeah, like I mean, we're at 50% here, so they're saying 50% capacity in the gyms. But I mean, like it doesn't make sense. But anyways, I don't want to make it about that. But let's just hope. As of January 14th, we're back to normal. Just keep the schools open. It's not that hard.
yeah. well.
Apparently it is. But yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
I really like the Eddie.
Yeah. So
Moving along swiftly.
moving along. So Wesley, I'll start with you first because apparently you've been having some tournaments in Holland, and then recently you sent one of your students, Dave Keentz, off to Poland for that big IFK tournament. How was that for him?
It was the KWF. It was KWF tournament. It was a big tournament though. We prepared hard. There was two tournaments in Holland where all my fighters did great, and then Dave was fighting in Poland. He was fighting in the under 21 category. So it was kind of like his second time at the big boys. But he really did great. It was an immense event. I think it was the biggest sports complex in all of Poland, where they were actually having it. Loads of fighters, very very well organized, and he obviously he did amazing. He got screwed over in the fight by a bad decision on judgment, but it's all part of the game. He did what we expected from him. He did a good fight. He showed what we worked on, and then the results will come later definitely. But it was it was amazing. And one of our friends who was in our KRT classes, Artur, Arashunyan, Armenian guy. He became, I think, world champion for the third time or the fourth time on this.
Fourth time, I think it was. Yeah.
Fourth time, yeah, in this tournament. So that's a big shout out to him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. It was good to see.
Yeah, Arthur, what's your thoughts on Arthur? Because outside of understandable, there's so many organizations, but everybody has heard of Arthur Arushian, and this guy is the guy he has such a crazy life. He's in the army in Armenia. He's got a family, and then he's training and competing and also coaching.
Yeah, he's a terrific fighter. One of the few guys who actually does great in no matter what organization he's fighting. Everywhere he goes, he wins a lot of prizes. He's got an amazing style, extremely fast, and besides all of his accomplishments, he's a very nice guy as well. So, we we really like him. He's a very cool guy, and he actually got out of retirement of fighting because of the war that was in their country, and he was like telling to us, my country needs a couple of victories after this hard time, so I'll go back to competing again. So it's very very cool guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, and he's very very humble. He's very very successful, but he's very humble and just down to earth as well, which is great. We speak to him not all the time, but we WhatsApp here and there, and wish him luck and that lot. And he's always responsive. He's a great guy. Yeah, so I wish him all the luck in the future. And as Wes said, he came out of retirement, and it clearly went well for him. I think he came second in the Europeans, and then
no. In 2 weeks, he was so he won the world tournament of the KWF, and then he was fighting 2 weeks later in the KWU European Championship, and he came third there. So
didn't he come second in the KWF Europeans a few weeks before that? Didn't he lose to Davy Brent?
No, he won that.
Oh,
he became world champion there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But a fairly good 2 weeks then for him.
Yeah, not too shabby, eh?
Is he like one of those rare specimens where he could be retired for however long, but when he comes back, that muscle memory just clicks in?
He's just quality, I mean, they always say that form, is temporary, but quality is permanent, and he's just great at what he does. He's got a really good technical ability. He's really exciting, and I think even if you've had time out, if you can rely on a good technique and a good build up, he's always going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same with lots of fighters. People have had time out and come back. And if you've got it, you've got it. It may take a little while to come back, and you may not win everything straight away. But I think he's always going to be tipping on the door of the podium.
I love his humility too. His humility is
You're
like.
talking about yourself now, then, Darren. Wait for a while.
I see what Darren was doing there.
Maybe it'll be a Jeff Wybrow part 2. I'll come back 10 years later and win the British.
Well, I mean, Sensei Nicholas Pettis is coming back into it in about, I think, a year, 2, if I remember correctly. He's gonna put the dogi on one more time with Shian Quinn to do a seminar. Yeah.
Oh, to teach him now.
It's the
Is this
2020.
the 100-year anniversary of Sosai, I think it is.
Yeah. That'd be exciting. We were talking about hoping to go for that as well, to be there, because it'd be nice. Australia, see a fair few people. But yeah,
if it's open.
Well, let's not go there. But yeah. I mean, Pettis, you've had him on your show as well, but Pettis is he's a cool guy as well. I trained with him in Sweden a fair few years back, and he's a nice guy. Lots of nice stories, and obviously he's been close to the man, so it's always nice to hear those stories.
I was intimidated of him a bit. Like when I had him on, I was like, holy shit! Like that's Nicholas Pettis. Like it's like a K1 legend. It's kind of like starstruck. Like it's like the times I felt this starstruck was when I had him on. When I had Ewerton.
Teixeira. Yeah.
Oh man.
Us for the first time, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. I was like, when I had you guys on, I was like, oh, I'm getting senseis on. This is insane. Like I couldn't believe it. Like because you guys.
And then he was like, no. I've had Shians now. Senseis are nothing. Yeah. It's still about the Shians.
But you have to be picky with the Shians too, because like there are some very good Shians, but then there are some Shians when they do this kind of stuff, these kinds of activities like we're doing for the first time, it's like you kind of have to guide them to make sure that they can be themselves, because because some of them have like a reputation to uphold, very normal, but then there's some that are like, I don't care, like it's like I'm not in the dojo, so who cares? Like Felix.
Yeah, he's cool.
Shout out to Felix. Oh, 3 shout outs. First of all, happy birthday, Renee Stigter, and happy what would have been 65th birthday to Darren's father. Is that okay? Did I say it right? I don't know if we got Darren there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
65th.
You were frozen for a little bit. It was like like this.
It might be because I'm upstairs away from the Wi-Fi, but I'm connected to my phone, so it should be all right. But
it's okay. It's okay. So guys, tell me. So 2021's coming to an end. We know it's been a very WTF year, but let's look at the positives here. KRT's grown. Some form of tournaments did come back, where Dave Keens fought in Poland with KW under the KWF tournament. Wesley, some of your other fighters are doing Holland tournaments. How do you guys feel KRT has helped grow your brand for both your dojos in general?
Do you want me to go? I was waiting for Wesley to go. It's been cool. We're still busy teaching online as well, even though the pandemic kind of ended, but it's not really ended. We've still been teaching online every single week, so it's been quite good for dojos to still train another night. I've had a fair few new students that have started up karate, whether that's through KRT or whether that's just through Cobra Kai, being a little bit more around on TV, but yeah, the exposure and everything has been great. I think we've really enjoyed the journey together, and with a lot of other people as well. So it's been really cool and loved every minute of it. And hopefully it never kind of stops. We've got a few offers out there to start going to a couple of camps. We're just waiting for the doors to open, so to speak. Now they're potentially closing again, but yeah. So I think it's been great. Maybe some other people don't, but I think it's been great.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the way we started off 2021 with KRT, we were full on in the start of 2021. We were very busy with this. I think we were teaching 3-4 times a week with KRT online, because a lot of stuff and a lot of things were still closed in the lockdown at that time. I'm particularly proud of a few things we managed to get. We actually helped a lot of karatekas with their little problems, with their little struggles and stuff like that. A lot of people have thanked us for just helping them out, or just being there on the screen, so they can still go on. Obviously, the big man, Hanshi himself, he was on there with us. He's been there, which is a lifetime memory, where we got the footage of, which was amazing. Darren was invited to, together with Felix, to teach in Holland at the Dutch summer camp, and where the both of us actually teached as KRT, a KRT class.
Yeah.
It wasn't that we were invited as KRT to the camp, but I'm one of the Dutch squad coaches for the comité, and Darren was there invited as the guest instructor. They made us teach together as well, which was great. So that was a really nice memory. We got pictures and videos of people watching our IFK syllabus and IFK Renraku videos before they're doing the grading. And I mean, like, if you can touch people's life like that, and actually make their karate better, then yeah, that's something to be thankful of. So it's been, well, nearly 2 very, very strange years, but in some ways it's been very good for me and Darren, and for KRT it's been amazing. And besides all of the successes, I spend a lot of time with my friend. Most of it is online, but we spend a lot of time together, which is very well, it's very pleasing. So hopefully.
Also add me with the WhatsApp group we have going there. We just send each other the stupidest messages ever, but keeps it fun, you know? Like, and speaking of Cobra Kai, yo, season 4 starting in about a week. How excited are you guys?
I know. I'm really excited. So it's going to be amazing.
Did you see the trailer? Did you see who's coming? Did you see who they brought in?
Terry Silver's back.
Yes, sir. And also, there's apparently Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Darren doesn't follow MMA, so sorry to take a shot at you here, Darren. But Wonderboy Thompson is going to be.
Everybody makes mistakes.
It's okay. Wesley, I can confirm Wonderboy Thompson apparently is going to have some form of a cameo in the Cobra Kai series now.
That's wicked. It wasn't only Wonderboy. I think there were 2 well, quite big UFC stars that get in there. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's gonna be amazing.
Isn't it crazy? Cobra Kai. Isn't it crazy how that show just like gave karate a renaissance? Like, could you imagine how many like inscriptions for like when the reopening happened, like people want to take up karate because of that series?
It's crazy. If you look at it, was it like this in like '87 when they came up with the first Karate Kid or something? Were all the dojos then growing as well and expanding because of the Karate Kid, and then now dojos are actually expanding because of Cobra Kai? It's amazing. Good for karate.
Yeah, a little bit of publicity goes a long way in that sense, you know, because you know, we've said it many a times. Karate, we're a bit biased, but it's actually a really good thing to get involved in. But it's never been publicized highly. And okay, Cobra Kai might not be exactly what we do, but it is nevertheless karate, and it's another, like, hopefully another wave of influx of people trying it out, because it's really cool. I mean, why wouldn't you want to kick someone in the face? I mean, come on, let's be honest.
even Drew thinks so because he's back at karate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
You know, took you a while to pick someone, but you know, now you're with Nakamura and everything, so that's pretty cool, right?
It's really awesome. And first of all, I want to say thank you to those who I had offers from, because when I was doing the show, like, I was talking with others where, you know, some of their students would reach out to me and say, you'd be a very good, like, welcome addition here. And I never expected that either. Like, I never expected that doing this would help open doors.
You're a superstar, man.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, and then to choose Nakamura, I mean, like, that was I got to give a huge shout out to Sensei Joanne Fournier. Like, she's not only helped me, she's the one that coordinated the Nicholas Pettis episode. So for anyone who wants to know how I got Sensei Nick on, it's because of her. Joanne was the one that...
She's cool. I like Joanne. She's very easy, you know, very easygoing. Yeah, got a lot of time for her.
I talk to her every day. Like her and I are like this now. Like I mean, that's like I love it. Like I love her. Like look, like obviously she's in a like obviously like she's in a relationship. But I say I love her like this in terms of like we're tight. Her and I like we always talk. Like if I ever have advice, like she's just an amazing human being. Like the world, like there are some people in the world, and the world needs more Joanne Fourniers. I will go on record to say that.
Nice.
That's a big compliment.
And she's the one that introduced me to Pierre Cataford, who is one of the most accomplished Xians. Almost said sensei there. Sorry, Xian. He's a Xian, and he's one of the most like. There's amazing Xians. They've all accomplished stuff, but he's like, you know, like his accolades speak for themselves. Like if you guys came to Quebec ever and you went to Boucherville, you go into his dojo. It's like there's a whole rack of trophies. There's a whole rack of trophies from whether it's Kata, Kumite in Japan, this regional tournament. And you feel like you're walking in to a Navy SEAL, like you're in like a you're in like a mix of like a Spartan military academy, or also like SAS, Navy SEALs, whatever special forces building you're in.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
It does sound that when I come in there, I have to train hard.
Very.
Wesley's like, I'm kind of retired now. I'd like to take it easy.
I'm a big fan of that.
Nah, he kind of knows of you guys. He's cool. He's an awesome human being. He is such an awesome human being. Like I call him my karate father because like he just has that influence. And you know, it was like as I said, there were some very good offers that I were going to say yes to, but when the timing is right and you know you're a good match with someone, you have to go with your heart, as they say. You know, don't go because of convenience. Like if the quality is there and you feel this is where you can develop the most, you have to go with what your heart says.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just click with people and you have a good relationship with them. And you know, I mean, obviously Wes, he had to leave the IFK for a little bit because of some political stances. But, you know, I think in his heart, he always kind of felt like he belonged to the IFK for many, many reasons, you know. And one of them, obviously, is Hanchi. But, you know, he's grown up in that environment. He's made lots and lots of friends, maybe two, should I say, 2 friends in that environment. But you know, even when you're kind of out of a circle, so to speak, you know, I think Wes can probably speak from experience here. That just felt right when he came back straight away. So you know, I mean, and you're probably feeling the same thing now when you went to Nakamura, because it just feels like it's the right step, it's the right time, and everything. And that's good. You know, I'm really pleased for you because that makes your training so much more enjoyable. It makes the experience, you know, with like-minded people so much easier in really what is a hard sport, to be fair.
And yeah, like what happened was, so I was going to come back in 2022, but then with like my mom's situation, my mom said like, look, she's like, don't worry about me and whatever I'm feeling. She's like, just go. She's like, I'm going to quote her here. So Mom, sorry if I'm putting on a bit of like a stereotypical mom voice here, but she's like, I don't know who this Xian Pierre is or whatever you call him. I never did karate, but if you like him and you really feel like this is the place, I'll support it. Even if it's far for you, you got to go where you're happy and you have to get back into training because I know you need it again. End of quote from my mom, Marlene. God, everyone loves Marlene.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's really good that you're back, and especially, you know, after such a year, and you had a lot of karate in your show, and then being back in karate again is good, and it's good for karate to have a lot of people doing karate. So amazing.
It legitimizes my show more now because now I'm with someone. So, but that doesn't mean that like when I was independent, the thing is like it's when you're independent, you can get away with much more. Okay. Because, you know, you could be more outspoken, but now that I'm with an organization, I mean, listen, I'm going to be the first to admit it. I've said stuff before that was kind of controversial. I don't regret it. You know, you learn as you go, you just learn with experience, but now that I'm with an association, now I have to be something more. I have to hold myself to a certain standard. And that comes with a lot of responsibility, but I relish it. I relish it because it just makes me better. And then it shows Xian Pierre why I'm in his organization, because he doesn't like he's a very like Nakamura does not just accept anybody. They want people who are there for the right reasons. They're not yes men or women. They're like are you gonna do do you fit these values? And they saw I did. So now I got to make sure I live up to that. You know, my job is to be, you know, just someone to help the art grow, but not only the organization. Maybe eventually, as I further along my training, I do want to help do more collaboration work with other organizations with Xian and his team.
Cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Definitely a good step
That's like
forward.
a plan.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels great though, but yeah, I know I had to like just tell what happened here because people were like, "Did you join an organization?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, "Who'd you join?" And it's like, "Well, I said it before, but I'll say it again." So yeah, for those who know, yes, I'm with Aikyo Nakamura. For everyone else, thank you for asking, like, you know, what the decision was. But this is the decision that I make. So I'm happy with it, and yeah, it's good to be back. I'm legit. I'm legit again. I'm too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit, yeah.
Too legit to quit.
No.
Guys, we got to talk about some James Bond here. I mean, without giving any spoilers away for those who watched it, I mean...
it was a shocker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got to be honest, guys. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, let's not get too
I really wanted to, but then in Holland, the cinemas and stuff have been a bit crazy, you know. And well, I've been really busy with work, getting students ready for tournaments and stuff like that. Obviously, me and the wife wanted to really see James Bond, but and Venom and the new Spider-Man, but it's gonna probably take a while. So when we're talking about James Bond, let's watch out with the spoilers because
he hasn't actually seen it.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
But I can say this. I bought the Blu-ray collection. So now I feel like I'm like a real James Bond-aholic. Darren, you're going to like this, okay? So I got the Blu-ray collection. Then I got Roger Moore's book, Bond on Being Bond. Then I got The Making of the Living Daylights, which got all the photographs of like how they came up with the Living Daylights, what went into choosing Timothy Dalton. And then I got this other book on GoldenEye, like, and how GoldenEye has like, I helped rebrand the franchise.
You only got
We're talking about
because you got a thing for the lady.
Yeah, I got a massive. For those who don't know, I got a massive crush on Famke Janssen. I'll say it on here, and you know, I hope to have her on here one day. And then you know,
oh mate, if she comes on and says hi, then you know she's paying attention to you anyway. So you know,
I'm from Holland. Maybe I can fix something for you.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. She's Dutch. That was the bigger mind bust. Okay, because the whole time so when I first saw her at 7 years old, that's when I realized that it's like, you know, that's those memes where it's like, and it was at this moment, 7-year-old Drew realized he likes Russian women. Well, I like tall Russian women. Okay, so sorry, it's like I'm talking on like it's like, you know, as I said, I'm very unfiltered at times. But yes, so I thought she was Russian the whole time. And it was only at 20 years old I realized she was Dutch.
Yeah, man.
Wesley, you must know her then, right?
Yeah.
You know all the Dutch people.
I know, and you know,
because people do that.
I know everyone in Holland, and there's like only 100 people in Holland.
Oh yeah, Darren, tell Wes about my little stupid. What's that thing I do with him whenever I hear a Dutch name? You guys, I want to hear from you guys. I don't want to say anything. It's better that you guys say it from your perspective.
But it's the same with I think everybody does that though. Everybody does it when you're talking to a person from another country. Oh, do you know this person? Then you're like, man, I live in London, which is like 8 million people. How many friends do you think I have? So I think it's very common that people do that. Do you know this person? No, of course I don't know this person.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's funny.
Apparently, according to Drew, I know everyone in Holland, so you know, should be alright. But if we're talking about James Bond, let's do this one then. Who's your favorite?
Does Darren answer this first, or do I answer?
I don't mind.
You
any of you, because I did the question.
Okay, so this is a very tough question, but based on you know, what I've seen as I've researched them, as I've rewatched the movies, and being like a unofficial, having an unofficial PhD in James Bond, I would have to say the best Bond. If we're
You
going
can
with
only pick one.
only
No,
pick
you
one,
can only pick
only
one.
one.
Only pick one.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with one. I would have to say Timothy Dalton, and he only did 2 films.
I thought you were going to
I don't
say
even
that.
know the guy. I don't even know the guy.
Yeah, I think his films were like late 80s, Wes. So I
know.
don't think
Yeah.
you were like 1990, weren't you?
I was
1990, but I'm not a fan of the old school Bonds. So you know, now you, Darren.
Yeah, so it's tough for me because I really genuinely like a few of them. So I really like Piers Morgan, Piers Brosnan. Piers Morgan, yeah, he was
But
great.
Piers Morgan.
I really like Piers Brosnan. I think he kind of rejuvenated it a little bit after a few years after Timothy Dalton. I really like. I think I liked Roger Moore a lot because I grew up in that period. When he was kind of really big on Bond before it transitioned over to Dalton and some other people. But I don't think you can look past Daniel Craig because he's just incredible. But to be fair, if they had all the cinematic experiences and special effects nowadays that they had with all the other Bonds, we'll be saying a different thing. I think Daniel Craig's done marvelous James Bond. So I'd probably lean towards Daniel Craig because I think the storylines have been great. He's a phenomenal actor as well as James Bond. It's a shame that he's finished, but everything comes to an end, right?
Exactly. And I think Timothy Dalton was why I chose Timothy Dalton was he is the precursor to Daniel Craig, but the world wasn't ready for it yet. Like the producers were.
He was raw, you know, in the 2 films that he did.
Yes. Living Daylights and License to Kill, especially like License to Kill, like over time has become a very, very popular one. But at the time it was, that was a very dark Bond.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the first time you probably saw someone getting minced up in the
in the cocaine machine. Oh, that was Benicio del Toro. That was such a crazy scene. Or how they killed Robert Davi's character, the villain, like how like they crashed a tanker and then Bond has like a lighter and uses the lighter to like light him on fire. It was like spoiler alert, but it's okay. People don't have time to watch the old films apparently. So
well, it was like made in 89 or 88 or something like that. So if they haven't seen it by now, then they've had time to watch it. You know what I mean?
Probably not gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah. But The Living Daylights was my favorite one because the way John Glenn used the cinematography, especially in the Middle Eastern scenes, was breathtaking how he did it with like especially the plane fight that him and Necros do, the milkman and Living Daylights that used the milk bombs in the beginning. So that scene was amazing. The Afghanistan air base, and because I'm a Cold War historian, it was just the end of that era. Like like the Russians, there's no more really a real villain. So it's kind of like The Living Daylights was like the curtain call on that era.
Yeah. I'm a very big fan of Daniel Craig as Bond, and you know what I really like about all these movies, like the last couple of movies, they actually have the same storyline. So that's what I kind of missed always in the older Bond films. It was always a few people who were the same people, but then always different villains and stuff like that. And now it's it's the same storyline in these last films, which was really good. So yeah,
I agree.
I'm a Greg fan.
You need to go and see the last one.
You go and see the last one, Wes. Yeah, but Daniel Craig really helped. Like he brought it to another level. Very controversial at first because people were like, "We're not ready for a blonde Bond," and then like, credit to Martin Campbell for launching Daniel Craig, because like I feel like this is the thing, like there's very good directors who've directed Bond. Martin Campbell is one of them because he's the one that launched Pierce Brosnan and then Daniel Craig. So now for the next one, they're probably gonna call Martin up and say, "Hey, we need you to launch this Bond's career."
It's gonna be an interesting follow-up. Who is gonna be? But Let's see.
It's interesting times.
I had a haircut, so I can do it.
Well, I heard it was going to be a Dutch boy for the first time. So sorry, getting a call.
Gotta keep it British. Gotta keep it British.
Next thing they'll choose an American. Like apparently The Rock wants to be James Bond. You can't. Did you see that meme I sent you, Darren, where I was like, The Rock wants to be
too big anyway. He's way too big. He take up all the screen.
He wouldn't fit in the car.
Yeah. He's in tanks in Too Fast, Too Furious and things like that. He can't fit in an Aston Martin. No chance.
No way. They're gonna give him like an Aston Martin. They're gonna give him like a Porsche Carrera SUV because he's so big. That's his vehicle of choice.
He is a cool actor, though. I really like his films.
I love The Rock, especially when he plays with Kevin Hart.
Oh
yes!
Guys, have any of you seen that? Speaking of Kevin Hart, he's got a limited series out called True Story. Have you seen it?
No,
not yet.
Is it on Netflix or is it on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, no, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's about 7 episodes or something like that. 7 or 8 episodes.
I'm in all the the Narco series and Queen of the South right now. So that's,
speaking of Narcos, they launched another Mexico series, right?
Yeah, it's wicked.
Oh my god! And it was gonna, like because I remember when I watched the last one. I'm not gonna say anything, but basically, it's like what's happening like now, basically, right?
Yeah, it's really good. And then
I want to make sure because I thought they were finishing it after the last not year but the year before. I thought that was it. They're gonna finish it after 2019.
Very interesting, but there's a lot of drugs going on all around the world, so I think they'll be alright for a few more seasons.
They need to do the Russian mob, man. I'd love to see them do like the Russian crime family.
In Holland, there's it's called the Moroccan mobsters.
I heard about them.
It's crazy. The things that happen there. It's like it happens for real. You know what I mean?
Didn't Badr Hari have it?
We're not only big for Famke Janssen.
Didn't you guys Badr Hari have like some connection with them apparently? Like, Badr Hari's like he's a very controversial figure in kickboxing. And for those who know, Darren muted himself there for a second.
Yeah. His internet isn't too great. I saw,
okay.
But Badr, I don't know if he definitely has friends who aren't good with the law.
Did you guys ever hear about the story where Badr Hari was like in a nightclub hotel or something, and the guy was like, "I have to check you," and Badr Hari's like, "Do you not know who I am?" And then he just slaps the guy out. Apparently, it's on camera.
Yeah, Badr has done a few things. Don't get me wrong. I met him in person and I trained with him. He's an amazing guy, but don't challenge him on the streets. He'll fuck you up.
You'll end up in a body bag. Does he have a Kyokushin? By the way, does he have a Kyokushin background or is it straight Dutch kickboxing? Him
straight Dutch kickboxing. Maybe from the streets, but he's no. He actually trained with. He started with Tom Haring. And Tom Haring is from Chakariki Dojo. And Tom Haring is one of the early Dutch kickboxing guys, together with Jan Plas and all of those guys. And Tom Haring is I think he's a 5th or a 6th dan in Kyokushin. So that's the reason why he kind of has this Kyokushin style on him. Because all of the big names, like from the 70s, the guys who brought the kickboxing to Holland, they were all Kyokushin karate guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jan Bluming too, apparently. Then there's Chris Doleman, Musasi's former coach. And now now Musasi's got Bert Kops. But before that, you remember Chris Doleman, right?
Yeah.
Proclaimed 10th Dan. Like he wears like
that's what I didn't want to go there. But he's not like a 10th Dan. He never wears a gi. He probably doesn't fit it, to be fair. Don't get me wrong. Back in the day, he used to be an amazing guy. But then 10 Dans. Come on.
Yeah.
John Blooming, he actually died with 11.
Really?
Yeah, they honored him with an 11th Dan.
But isn't that the same with Nakamura or something? I heard a rumor that he's got 11.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that. So the reason why Sosui, that's what we call him, which means commander in Japanese. The reason why Sosui Nakamura has an 11th dan was because the story goes like, okay, like Shian, if you hear this, I'm really sorry if like I get the facts wrong. I'm just going off of, I'm paraphrasing, but this is like the reason why it's 11th dan. And you know, when people see Makoto, they're like, why is he an 11th dan? Like they like to mock him, but it's like the reason why he's an 11th dan is because he's the only Japanese to win the world, like I believe it's the world tournament 2 times. Like it was in the 70s, he won it, and then
79.
yeah, and then after that, like before Sosai died, he said, you have the right to give yourself 11th because of the accomplishment. And he's like, I also want you just to piss off the other Shians who think they've really earned their 5th and 6th dans and so forth. So it's kind of a way just to like thumb his nose at like at those like who claim they're like 5th and 6th dans, but they're really not because they don't have the accolades that he does. But Sosui is very, very, very smart though. It's a brilliant story, like how he won the tournaments and then how he how the way Nakamura's run is like it's incredible.
Yeah, because he won the 79 and 84, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah, I think he's the only one to have won it twice. Texeria tried it, didn't he? He won in I think it was 11 and then 07, and then he came second to Tariel.
Yeah, he lost to Terry Nikolashvili. Yeah. What's his name? He's from Shin. Amazing fight. Tsukamoto. He won it twice, but then not back to back.
No, but then the Shimanoto as well in Shin. He's just won it twice as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he won it back to back.
He did win it back to back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Shimoto was like banned for a little bit. I heard.
Tsukamoto.
Yes.
Shimoto.
Yeah. He's incredible. He's
oh
so
my god.
good.
I think in my opinion, he's the best Japanese fighter I have ever seen.
Mm.
That guy is so smart. He really understands fighting. I love it.
The Japanese
style and stuff.
Mm-hmm. There's him. There's Kenji Yamanaki, if I'm saying that right. Kenji Yamaki.
Yamaki, yeah.
95 World Tournament winner. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last one before the split, right?
Well, it was like a year after, weren't it? It was the first one after Sosai's death.
That was it. Yeah, but then the Shin wasn't there yet, right? Was the IKO2 then there already? I'm not sure. I think it was the last World Tournament.
Yeah, I can't remember when, because Samoto won that first one, didn't he? I think it was like 95 or 97. It was kind of around that time. I can't remember.
Was the youngest one to ever win it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I think he's the youngest and the oldest one to ever win it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, to be fair.
So basically, I thought the split started happening with IFK when the Hanshi Arniel was kicked out of IKO.
Yeah, well, he left, but there was a few.
Yeah, he wasn't kicked out.
Yeah, he left. He went kicked out, but there was a couple that left before that.
Ashihara left before that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they was as public at that moment in time. Because I mean, obviously Hanshi was not saying that Ashihara definitely wasn't, but obviously Hanshi was like an adopted son to Sosai anyway, and kind of I think it was much more public then at that point. And then after that, loads of people started leaving, and they still are. You know, loads of people are still leaving IKO1. It's incredible when you think the amount of people that actually leave that organization.
Even the last world champ, he left.
the last few world champions have left. So 2011, Tariel, he's gone.
Left.
2015, Damanov, gone. 2019, who was it? I can't remember.
The Japanese guy. Forgot his name.
Yeah, he went to form his own organization.
KG, is it KG Yambe or something? I don't know.
Don't know.
And then the super talent, the Utah.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Utah is one as well.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know what they're doing over there, but I mean,
but they still got so many quality fighters. I mean, Navarro's still in there. Eremenko is still in there. I'm a big fan of this new guy, Andre Lutzin.
Andre Lutzin,
he's only 26 years old. Every tournament he fights, he knocks people out. There's so many highlights of this. No, he's Russian.
He won
the tall, blonde Russian.
He won the world weight, didn't he? A few years back, I think it was as well.
I think it was 2 years back or something. He's amazing. He's got fantastic Ishiro Mawashigiri and like crazy knees he's got on him. He's fighting this weekend. They have the Open Baltic Cup.
Yeah, the Baltic. Yeah, Navarro's number 1, and then losing.
Yeah, and he's number 32.
So it'd be interesting. It's like riddle.
I love Gemma, but that's because he knows Mo, so I'm kind of biased. But I like Gemma too.
Yeah. I love his Gemma's a good. His style was really good. I really liked it. It's just unfortunate he never ever after the time he came second, I didn't really see him fighting anymore.
No, he didn't.
So yeah, that's too bad. There's this other French dude. He's doing pretty good right now.
Maxime Demotti, right?
I think it's his name. No, Antoine Tussaud.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear something crazy? He's the last person that beat Mo in a world tournament.
Yeah, he's very, very, very decent fighter. And when you look at him, it's not like you think, oh, this guy's gonna be amazing, and then he starts fighting, you'll be like, oh, he's amazing.
I think the quality that IKO1 possess, even though they've lost so many people, it's incredible. And you know, don't get me wrong, there's like backing there, there's like financial rewards and things like that. But it's mental. But even at like 45, Navarro's just won the Europeans like not so long ago. So
he only started karate at 21. That's the other thing. He didn't start it at 5. He started at 21.
Yeah, but he did taekwondo, I think it was, before that.
Makes sense. He uses a lot of taekwondo drills in his training stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's flamboyant as well.
He
came from IFK, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He used to be in the IFK.
I want to ask you guys about that because there's a lot of Kyokushin fighters that do have a taekwondo background. What do you feel like, Wesley? You've done a whole variety of martial arts. You've seen it all. What is it that you guys feel that taekwondo?
I'm a master of it all as well.
A master of it all.
Just to make that sure, I'm a master of all of it.
Yeah.
Why is it that taekwondo fighters, when they come into Kyokushin, like the really good taekwondo fighters, they have an easy time they have such like they kind of like a footwork advantage?
Yeah, well, the thing with these guys is they're so light on their feet, and they're used to kicking a lot, always above the waist. So if you have to kick and score points above the waist, your footwork has to be on point, because you can't just get in there, ground and pound, do some just stand there, punch and low kick. You got to move around. So, but the thing is, I haven't seen a lot of taekwondo guys be extremely successful in Kyokushin, and that's just because of the roughness there is in our sports. It's a very different game, and it's just if you're really good at the game of taekwondo, I think you will be more successful in styles like Wado Ryu, Shotokan, Goju Ryu, styles like that. We have a little bit more of the old school point scoring system, whilst still very, very tough and hard. But then in Kyokushin, it's more, it's evolved into a different game, especially if you look at it. I think it's a really good combination to train. But then starting with Kyokushin, train a lot of taekwondo and a lot of kickboxing or boxing to really develop yourself in a proper way. But then for the Kyokushin style, I think if you started off with taekwondo, I'm not saying it's not possible, but in my opinion, if you start off taekwondo, you're gonna have a hard time or a harder time in Kyokushin using that style.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case as well, because the you know, it goes down to a lot of things, the way that they stand, their posture when they're, because everything that they do is really quick, it's really flamboyant, loads of high spinning jumping kicks as well, and it looks fantastic. The trouble is, as Wesley said, it is difficult to kick people in the head. People don't really realize that until you probably start doing something like Kyokushin, when you've actually got no face punches to kind of take the mind off of other things.
Mm-hmm.
To kick someone in the leg is very easy for almost anybody. Anybody can kick you in the leg. It's kind of fairly easy. You get kicked in the leg in the stance that they're normally standing in, it has a really big effect. So although they have all of this flamboyant accolades behind them, it's really difficult for them to actually stand there in the position that they normally fight and take the roughness that goes with Kyokushin, and then not big punches.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a real deficit to where they are. But
it's really good what you say. It's really good what you say there, because a lot of people are like, oh, Kyokushin is not the best style. There's no face punches, yada yada yada. But then, a lot of styles have these face punches, and then it's really easy, or it's easier. I'm not gonna say nothing is really easy, but it's then easier to score more points or knock someone out with something else. And we knock a lot of people out with only punching to the body as your target, and still a lot of people get knocked out by head kicks. You know how hard that is. It's actually really good that you say that there, this Darren, because knocking someone out and get their focus on something else so you can kick them out on their face that's a tough job.
It is really difficult, and people probably don't realize it. And you know, when and as Wesley said, the amount of knockouts that we actually have, and to kick somebody in the head when you're not even punching the person in the head, for example, it really is quite a difficult art to do. So all them people that are knocking people out, kudos to you, because it really isn't an easy thing to do in what we do.
But the thing is, there's like two kinds of Taekwondo federations. There's like the WTF, the one that, I know that sounds really funny. It really sounds, but that's what it's actually. What the fuck? Yeah. But then there's the ITF. And for those who know, Senpai Scott from the Martial Way blog actually has a Taekwondo background before Kyokushin. He's got a Kempo. Scott's very accomplished in his own way. Like shout out to Scott, Senpai Scott. But Scott came from the ITF. And what I've known about the ITF is they kind of make it
more old school.
Yeah, and they try to bring
in more old school version.
And that's not the Olympic version, though. That's why, and we need to recognize that, because what you're saying there is completely right. Because I know a few people that did or do Taekwondo, and the Olympics is a soft play sport. Ultimately, they don't really want the likes of boxing and all them rough sports in there. They would like to keep it. Here's our soft play sports, and this is how Taekwondo has managed to build itself from what originally, where they were doing punches, throws, a little bit more contact stuff than what you see in the Olympics. And that kind of, it's going to sound harsh here, tarnishes the view on Taekwondo, because we're all looking at it thinking, Jesus Christ, you've got body armor on, you've got a head guard on, and you're barely even touching each other. And what the hell is this about? But the ITF boys, they're actually doing stuff a lot different. So
they're like kind of like a Kyokushin without the armor and the thing. So that's something that needs to be, because I've seen them and I always wonder, wow, we need to kind of do a tournament between Kyokushin and ITF. That would be fun to watch.
Yeah, but on what rules are you working then? You know what I mean?
That's
because
the problem.
Obviously, if you go more to their rules, they're probably in their advantage. If you go more to our rules, then we'll be more in our advantage. So
if I'm fighting one of them and we're using Kyokushin rules, I would mess one of them up probably. I mean, I think that'd be fair for everybody, because they don't have the low leg kicks that we do. So the minute like we start low leg kicking them, they're gonna feel it, and then they're at a real disadvantage. But if we go to their rules, we can't do the low leg kicks.
that's the same thing if you look at a karate combat. I'm a big fan of karate combat, and you know our brother Zolt Ziga is in there, and if you look at the way he fights in Kyokushin, he's a very flamboyant, amazing guy. He needs to, you know, he can really make combinations and make very good kicks and you know, throws a lot of flamboyant stuff. But then when he fights karate combat, where you can't do low kicks, you see his style is a little bit tarnished. He's still a great fighter, and but he really has to make so many adjustments to his style of fighting. So it's, as you can see, it's really hard for him to do that. And he had one fight. It was a good fight. He lost it, but then hopefully there's going to be some more, and he can actually adjust himself into that. But you can see how hard it is to adjust yourself to a certain specific types of rules where you are normally fighting in a different rule set. It's very hard.
Yeah. I think as a general rule, like the really, really top people in each of their fields, you're probably saying that they shouldn't lose against someone else coming into their field. Normally, in a general rule of thumb, you're probably going to go into like Floyd Mayweather would never beat Conor McGregor in the MMA world. Conor McGregor tried it in Floyd Mayweather's world. He was unsuccessful. Thai boxers come in a fight in Kyokushin. They have a hard time, even though they are very well conditioned. It's just different rules, and it's just different things which you're used to, and vice versa. You know, when Kyokushin people go and fight in like Ashihara tournaments, even though we have a lot of similar techniques in a lot of these,
different.
It's those slightly different rules that make a big adjustment, as Wesley was saying, to the way that you fight. And face punches is without doubt one of them things that changes that dynamics immediately. No matter how good you are, as soon as you know, it's the old Mike Tyson. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You know?
True.
But that is what makes our sport so difficult to knock somebody out.
What's the rules with Ashihara and Kyokushin? Like if let's say Wesley
Grabbing. Yeah, in Ashihara you can grab and follow up with techniques. I've actually done a few Ashihara or tournaments where we can grab. The tournament of the Gordo brothers is the Kamakura tournament. Is always a tournament where you can grab and stuff. It was in a ring. It was grabbing. It was like it was a little bit rougher. I was successful at it. It's something different. But then the thing with someone who's really good at Ashihara, like Rene Stichter, if you fight him, Rene was actually one of the guys who was really good in Ashihara, but still very good in Kyokushin as well, because he's won loads of tournaments, and in his time there wasn't a lot of Ashihara tournaments. But then if you look at the way they can, play with you when they grab you or just take techniques out of the way in their specific way, it's really hard fighting and sparring with them because they have a specific way. On the other hand, for them it's quite hard to fight with very like flamboyant guys who are hard to catch. You know what I mean? If you don't make a mistake they can use, it's a very interesting fight. I didn't beat Rene ever though.
Rene is definitely one of.
Yeah, he was like I think it was 2008. I fought him. I was like a very small boy when I was a big fan of him, and he was always fighting a lot of our guys from the club I came up, and then he nearly won all of them, and then I had to fight the big Rene Stichter in 2008. I kicked my own face. We did a good fight, and he was like,
that's some flexibility there though.
Yeah, it's good flexibility. I need myself in the face with an axe kick during the fight. But yeah, the amount of techniques this guy threw at me, there was so many techniques. His condition was so good. He was like, kept him going. Yeah, that was a cool fight.
That's awesome. And he's such a gem, man. Like I was so happy when I got to speak with him because it gave like a dynamic that there's other greats out there, and he's so well respected for everything.
Yeah, he's a wicked guy. Really like him.
Yeah.
Darren, was there anyone like that you were starstruck that you got to fight with when you were like coming up, or?
There's loads of people that you get to fight. I fought Rennie Stricker as well. It was early in the 2000s, and much like Wes, I was really young. I think it was like one of my first few kind of adult tournaments when I fought him, and it was really weird. I didn't really kind of know him too well at that point. I went over to the Oyama Cup in Holland, and it's really weird because most people, they like when they come on and do the bows, they're like 1, 2, 3. But Rene Stichter comes on and he's like this, us.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at you all the time. And I was thinking, what's this guy doing? And then like Wesley said, it was like, da, 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 da. I was like, okay, I'm not hurt too much, but there's a lot of techniques going here.
That's the same. I was like, he just kept on going, and it is funny because it was really Renee's thing in the to like, he was like always standing there one, and like Darren did, like he just always watched at you, and then a lot of people in that time were doing the same thing, and I was like, oh man, why are you stealing this from him? You know what I mean? But it's like kind of an intimidation thing, but it was really cool. He was known for that, to be fair, but yeah, amazing guy.
I'm sure he could knock. I mean, we all can have we all can get knockouts if we really like put our mind, if we really get it timed right. But with Rene, it sounds like Rene was more like a pace fighter. Like he would just bring in that pace to like. You said Darren, you weren't hurt, but it felt like 1,000 bees stinging you at the same time, right?
Yeah. I don't think he has loads of knockouts. He had a few knockouts on where he can grab you and knee you in the face and stuff like that. He had a lot of knockdowns on liver shots. His left hand was dangerous. But yeah, his pace was so high.
His work rate was good. Yeah, it really like just wore you down throughout the fights, and then because he was just throwing lots of techniques, and then you were getting hit a lot more than what you could probably block and then retaliate back. It was just like okay, you started from here, and then it was like
he wore you down.
Yeah. Because I mean you can't sustain that power for that amount of techniques anyway. It's not possible. But yeah, I mean, he was a good fighter, and he was clever about it. You know, he wasn't the most flexible in the world anyway, but he could do like Michael Jordan. His axe kick was fairly decent. But yeah, he's very very, very high tempo in his fights.
He was very sensible about his body because, as I said, he was like 20, I think maybe 15, 20 years older than me, and he was like, oh, when I was 1, he fought his first British Open. So and then he's like, always, you only have one body, Wes. If you have an injury, be serious about this. Don't screw it up, and be sensible about when you stop fighting. Be sensible about all the things you have. I really learned a lot from him, and I've always had that little Rene in the back of my head saying, "Oh, you have an injury. Make sure you take care of it, Wes." So that's pretty cool.
He really cares. And, like, have you guys thought of having him on KRT? Like, I mean, I know he did my show, but I mean,
no, no, we weren't able to get him on because of timing. That was it. He wanted to do it. He was open for it to do it with us, but we just couldn't get the timing on.
Yeah,
maybe this time around. Maybe
let's see.
Never say never.
Yeah, when I had him on my show, like the timing worked perfectly, and it's another one of my most viewed episodes. Like I didn't expect it's probably a lot of the European audience that like viewed it, but like it's like when I watched that episode, that was one of like my favorite episodes. Like I mean, I love all the guests I do, like, but there's some that you have and you're like him and I just hit it off right away. Like the flow of it was so key. Like it felt like a Joe Rogan episode. Train by day, podcast. Oh, I don't know. I'm screwing up the whole saying there. I don't know how it goes.
No,
So
Yeah,
what's
we'll see what happens. Anyways,
exactly. But like, so what's the so now, like, you know that 2022 is coming. I mean, let's look at the positive outlook here. What's KRT's next goal? Like, what do you guys hope to achieve for next year with now that you've been at it for 2 years now?
I think we'll have a camp on the moon because we hope to be out of this world, but no, we just all jokes aside. But I mean, as long as we can keep helping people and having some success as well in helping people progress, I think that's the main objective. Of course, we want to be going places, holding some camps, and like I said, we've got a couple of little nuggets coming up in the future, but we just don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 to 3 months because of the situation that we're now in again. But
we are booked, though. That's to be fair. We are booked.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. We've got a few little things that are in the pipeline, and so long as nothing goes wrong and we can't go nowhere, we've got and I think it'll probably get busier as time goes on with countries opening up, etc. But we have a lot of fun together when we're teaching online, and in even more when it's actually live. So I think that's the main objective, really. Help them, look at karate in potentially a slightly different avenue than what they're used to, give them a lot of new ideas and a lot of things that maybe we don't even do ourselves, but we realize that, if we work on this, then we can all kind of get better at this area. And it is, first and foremost, karate what we do. We've never really stuck to a single area that we've taught. It's kata basics, knockdown, kata basics, and then it just keeps rotating round and round. And what we try to do is really link the disciplines together for people to use.
Yeah, it's true though. There, what you say. I think we can say that we just want to keep having fun. What I mean? Is the thing is we can actually share our passion with so many people, and we live in the right time nowadays where you can actually do this together and share the passion with the world whilst having fun. I think that's the goal for 2022, but that's the goal for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this, because Darren, you're a Yondan, and Wesley, you're a Sandan. Whenever anyone gets a black belt, it's a very big accomplishment. But then to get knee down, as the saying goes, like, it's like very few get a knee down. They just stay at showdown and whatever. But to get to Sandan, and then for you, Darren Yondan, what were those accomplishments like for you when you guys made it to that level?
I think first then Shodan was probably if you look at like the achievement of getting there, and it's gonna be there forever around your waist. That was really important to me. So I think that was better than receiving my Sandan. Nidan was very important because I actually graded under Hanshi in the BKK summer camp, so that was really good. And then the Sandan is very cool because your title change. You're a senpai, and then you become a sensei. But then nothing really, to be fair, nothing really changes there except for the title, which I don't really use because I don't walk around the streets. You call me sensei. You call me sensei. You call me sensei. I'm Wes first and foremost. So to be honest, nothing really changed there. When you go from first to Shodan, something really changes there. I mean you're the man with a plan at that time. But then for me, becoming second dan or third dan, it was amazing. And don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of the achievement, and I'm very proud of the things I earned there. But nothing really changed there for me. I don't know how was that for you, Darren?
Yeah, I think it's very similar, to be fair. I mean, the first dan I think is always special because it's for some people, it's a dream to get to that goal. And then, as you said, Drew, that many people have the dream when they start to get to a black belt, and then fewer people carry on beyond that because they think, I'm here, I've got to my goal. But really, you've developed a basic understanding of karate up until you get to a shodan, and then you start to learn and develop because you have those those necessities to give you the ability to then move beyond that. So I think that once you get to a shodan, your learning starts, like really, really learning. Up until that point, you're just learning how to do techniques. And after that point, you really start learning the art of karate, the art of fighting, the meaning behind a kata, the applications behind a kata, and then more and more and more starts building on that. And it should carry on until the day you don't put your gi back on, to be fair. So I think that's a very big step. I was quite young when I got my shodan as well. I was 14, so it was a young time, and everything was kind of, I'm not going to say easy, but you know, your body works really well when you're younger anyway. Nidan was not really a big change. I was 18, 19, I think it was, when I did that, and I was just starting fighting and doing some other stuff, and then the success was starting to come quite a lot at that stage. So Sandan was pretty neat because you have to kind of create your own kata and the IFK, you know, and I've done all of my gradings with Hanshi, all of them. Like it is the only name that has ever signed my book, and probably will ever be, mainly because the book that I have doesn't go beyond the Yondan, so because it's old. But yeah, for me, a Yondan, it was not really any different. I'm very much, this is why we get on so well, me and Wes. We're very much of the same opinion in things. A grade doesn't necessarily make me, you know, it doesn't. I don't look at Wesley Jansen and think, oh, you're a third dan. I look at Wesley and I think, you're Wesley. You know, and I like people to look at me as Darren. Sure, I have 4 stripes on my belt, but it doesn't necessarily dictate how I am or who I am. It just happens to be a title that comes along with doing karate, and that's great because we do work in a hierarchical world and a grade tiering system that gets you there. But I think we can probably all appreciate that there's different standards of people and belts and all over the place, and that's not a degrading someone who potentially is a 4th dan that isn't as good as Wesley, because they may have started later as well. You know, their body might not function in the same way. But I think that as long as you can take pride in what you do, you can share your passion around with people, and you can have that mindset of keep learning, keep developing, even when your body starts to deteriorate, you know, which apparently is like a really young age. It's like 30 years of age or something like that. So well past it now. Even once you get to that point, you know, you can still start progressing, you can still look to learn. And that's, to be fair, that's one of the reasons why I don't actually wear stripes on my belt, because that was one of the forefront things in my mind, because we've seen it so many times that, especially within the IFK structure, and you know, it is what it is, but you get to a 3rd dan and there's no more physical gradings in the IFK. Once you get to a 3rd dan, it's all promotion on what you do for the organization. So for example, Wesley has run his own dojo for about 8 years now.
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years. He's now the coach of you know, Knockdown. He helps out with the kata team as well, you know, so he's progressing fighters into the organization, and based on those things, Wesley will no doubt one day be awarded a 4th dan for what he contributes to the organization, both within the NKA and, as a result, the IFK. And that's how it works. Unfortunately, in that process, there's also a lot of people that just go, my training days are done. I just put my gi on, I get out in the front, and I teach people. And that is necessary, of course. We all need instructors, but I think it's very, very important that you keep yourself in check. I'm not saying you have to be an elite fighter until you're 75. That's impossible. It would have been nice to have been one when I was young, but no, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I think we all have a responsibility to make sure that we are at least keeping ourselves in check, because even if you are an instructor, you have a responsibility to do it correct in front of them people. So I think the grade isn't important. It really isn't. It's nice to have. It's nice to be receiving those gratitudes from your peers and people around you. And in our case, it was, in my case, it was always Hanshi. But first and foremost, I think you have to make sure that you are doing the things for the right reasons. You are trying to do good, and you have to have a good, like not saying Bushido code to its strictest, but you know, you have a good ethical standing as an instructor and as a black belt.
Yeah, I must say, Shodan was something really special though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That first Dan is like, you're like, oh my God, I got there. You're like, it's like that surreal feeling. But yeah, I think it's about quality of the person over the belt stripe, because there's plenty of like Sandans, like, you know, they earned it. I'm not taking it. You can never take anything away, but they just feel like it's a title. And as you said, you know, they put materialistic value on it. Whereas when you're in the school I'm at, like where I'm at in Boucherville, there's Sandans that are coming to train. And yeah, they're like, they're not there to teach or give orders. They're just there to train and learn with everybody else. And that's what's amazing to see. And that's what makes me want to become that level in that organization. That's my long-term goal.
I think it's very easy for people to forget why they started karate and continued karate for such a long time in the first place, because we all started it because we wanted to do karate for whatever reason, fight, get fitter, be confident, but you stayed because you fell in love with it. Then all of a sudden you got a title, and it something then fell aside as a result of that. And you need to be careful that the title doesn't own your karate. You should be owning karate and doing karate, rather than just going, well, I'm a fifth dan, I don't need to do this, you know. And Jeff was a prime example. You know, he came to the camp, and Jeff is like a pioneer of everything anyway, so you know, he's probably a very unfair person to point towards, but at the same time, because he is such a high profile person, because he was a pioneer, he was kind of the original protege of Hanshi Steve Arnil, yet he is quite willing to get in line. And, you know, at Holland, at the camp we were at, he was in line for every single session. Didn't teach.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
The way how that went. The way how did we tell you that story, Drew?
About when he came to train with you guys?
How he came to train to the Dutch camp.
How did he come to train to the Dutch camp?
We did. I don't think we told you, because like, so Darren was there together with Felix as a guest instructor. So the NKA asked him. I was there to teach as well for mostly Kumite stuff. And then we were like, because Jeff was training every time in our KRT sessions, and obviously he teaches for us and all. And then we're like, so Jeff, you want to come over to? Are you coming over for the camp in Holland as well? He's like, nah, no, you know, it's been so long. I haven't been on a summer camp for 10 years or something. So. Probably not. So we kind of joked around about it, and then the last session before the camp online was the week before, and Darren couldn't be there. And I was like, so Jeff, are you still coming along then with Darren? He's like, you know what? I actually thought about this. You guys mentioned this quite a few times. You think you can get me a spot there? Do you think you can book me a spot in there? I was like, whoa, are you serious? Well, let me call and then ask this straight before you. So within like an hour, it was like arranged. And it was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a done deal. He actually just came along. He didn't want to teach at all. He just came there to train and have fun. He was in Papendal in the Dutch Sports Center of like the Olympic Sports Center of Holland, and it's where he became a black belt in 1978, I think 74 or 78.
No, I think it was before that, 74, something like that.
Yeah, when he was 16 or 17 years old, and he was like, oh man, after so many years, it's really good to be back. That was really
Because
he'd
not been back to Papendal since that date, had he? He'd been in Holland, but he hadn't been back to Papendal. And it's actually, it was actually by accident that he actually ended up doing his showdown there, because he wasn't supposed to. It's only I think it was Tadashi Nakamura and the other instructor. They said to Hanji, he's got a grade.
Shigeru Yama and Tadashi Nakamura. They were like, is he grading? No, or he
wasn't even supposed to be at the camp. He wasn't even supposed to be at that camp. And then they were like, yeah, he's great. He wasn't grading, he's grading now. But yeah, it's a good reminder for people. You know, if Jeff Wybrow can do it, then everybody else can do it as well. Because I'm a firm believer that you can learn from anybody. You might not learn everything from everybody, but somebody can teach you something. You can have that attitude, then you can always take something away from a lesson, and then it's always valuable.
Awesome. That's an amazing way to end it here. So guys, I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for doing this. It was great to have you guys back. You know, it's open door policy for you two any day. Where can they all connect with you guys? I know, like we've said it before, where's the connection for the platform? Just lay them out.
We're shutting everything down. It's game over.
Done deal. After this, done deal. Yeah. No, we are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram as KRT Tips and Tricks. As Wesley Jansen or Darren Stringer on all of these platforms as well. We need to do one more shout out before we end. Well, two actually. No, three actually. Oh my god.
We're getting like Drew Experience's intro.
I know. We need to do a big shout out to two people who actually supported us from the start of. You were one of them, but then there's two others who really supported us. It's Scott Heaney from the Martial Way blog who gave us an introduction and helped us out with by podcasting and interviewing us. One Kyokushin, he's an amazing contributor to the IFK, to the Kyokushin world, and he just shares a lot of interesting footage online. So a big shout out to these guys. Kyokushin World Shop, the girls from Kyokushin World Shop, they have been sponsoring us, and they have been our partners since quite a few months now. It's a great connection for all your martial arts gear. We are really, really happy with their partnership, their help, and their training gear. And Aerofit is actually something we came up with the last few weeks. Darren, you want to bring a shout out to them?
Yeah, Aerofit, they're a breathing apparatus for anyone really, but high-end athletes, ordinary trainers. But, you know, I think it's breathing is really important, clearly, because we couldn't survive without it. But this device monitors, helps, assists all the muscles that exist around your lung capacity, you know, intercostal muscles, diaphragm control, lung flexibility, etc. So it's a really good piece of equipment if you want to take that little extra step in controlling your breathing, which in what we do in particular is very important, because when we get hit, we have to have control on this diaphragm and the intercostal muscles that are around. So check it out, and it's pretty nifty. You know, they've got a couple of little training things every single day for you. So, and it gives you a little reminder as well. It's like a little flash up that says, hey, you've not used me today. Get on it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I really appreciate the support from them guys, because, you know, it's great to share these with other people, you know, because all of them things, good clothing, little training assistance, you know, they make a big difference in effectively an unprofessional world that we live in within Kyokushin. So check them out, guys.
Awesome. Well, guys, once again, thank you so much. Happy holidays to all. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, it doesn't matter. So yeah, and this episode is the last episode for this year, and then we will be back next year for the Drew Experience. Hopefully, 2 episodes per month.
Awesome. Well done. Well done for all the work you do, Drew.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Good man.
Thank you.